Do you teach video courses online or live workshops online? Have you considered integrating writing activities into your teaching strategies? In this video, I'm going to share some expert knowledge and offer some ideas, simple ideas for how you can get learners more engaged with writing activities. If you are teaching online, either video courses that you're creating or online learning events for everybody's live, you'll know it's really difficult sometimes to keep learners engaged while they're learning. So today I'm going to share the advice from two learning experts, and then I'm going to offer some ideas that are very simple for you to use when you're teaching adult learners online for any topic. So the first resource and learning expert that I want to share with you is Jennifer Stanchfield's book, Inspired Educator, Inspired Learner. There's a lot of great information in this book. I'm only going to share one piece of information that is supported by research. And Jennifer says, create multiple pathways to learning. The more senses that are used to learn and practice information, the more neural networks, she means in the brain, the more neural networks are activated, and the more ways the brain is able to store and retrieve information. So when we're teaching online, people are watching us, they're listening to us. But if we use writing, we can have one more way for the brain to take in the information and remember the information. I will put Jennifer's book title and her Instagram account, which is great, in the description below. The second resource is a book by Sharon Bowman, who wrote Using Brain Science to Make Training Stick, 6 learning principles that trump traditional teaching. And one of these 6 principles is writing, that writing is more effective than reading and more effective than just listening. So in this book, Sharon Bowman says that writing is an attention grabber. We have to kind of focus and think about, oh, what am I going to write? What words am I going to write? So we really get hyper-focused with this attention grabber strategy. Next, writing is visual spatial. Often we remember where we wrote something down because that's kind of how our brain experiences the world. And the next thing that Sharon says, it stimulates memory because it's involving all these different senses, and especially it's very kinesthetic. Those are 4 reasons why writing can be really helpful for learners. So here's some examples. If you're in a live online meeting like a Zoom platform or Microsoft Teams, you can have people write in the chat. You can have people write on the whiteboard. And also you can ask people to get real paper and write with a pen. So when I say learners can write, it does mean write with a pen or write by typing into the chat or swiping or typing on a phone. We're going, for this purpose, for the purposes of this video, we're just going to call all of that writing. Although if you teach video courses where people are just watching them whenever they can, then you can use paper for the learners to write on, ask them to get some paper. Also, you might have some type of learning chat or community Facebook group type thing that is integrated with your course. And you can have people who are watching your video course then go and write in that learning community and share with other people. So those are a few ways. At the end of this video, I have 2 more videos that are more specific about using writing as a learning strategy for your adult learners. So I, of course, have attended plenty of online learning events. And in some of these events, the instructor will say, get some paper because you're going to want to take notes. And then that's all they've ever said about it. And that's okay, of course. But in this book, Sharon Bowman says, we need to be specific about what we want learners to write down. We can invite them to write down the parts that we think will be really helpful for them. So now I've got 3 tips for you if you want to try this tool of getting your learners to write and remember the important parts of your teaching and stay engaged with your teaching. So I invite you to get a piece of paper and something to write with. If you don't have anything to write with, you're at lunch, you're in your car watching this on your phone or something, then I invite you just to pretend that you're writing on your hand with your finger. So if you do have paper and you have something to write with, I just have a colored marker here. I invite you to divide your paper into 3 sections. This doesn't have to be perfect. I have 3 tips for you. So we're drawing number 1, a number 2, and a number 3 for the 3 tips. So tip number 1 to get learners to write is you're going to need to ask questions. So ask questions. You need to figure out what your learners what you want them to remember and what questions you need to ask so for them to write. What do you want them to write in the chat? What do you want them to write about? And at the end of this video, you'll see links to 2 more videos. And one of those videos will be questions, the types of questions you can ask learners to invite them to write. So tip number 2 is you could create a list of the 5 whatevers that you're teaching that day. For tips for all around fitness, whatever it is that you're teaching. And this is the list here. So you're seeing my list only has 3 things. You can have the people write the key points that are on your list, 4 tips. And third tip is you're going to model doing what you want the learners to do. So if you want the learners to write in the chat, you need to write in the chat. I'm modeling writing on this piece of paper for you. So the human brain is more likely to do something if they see someone else doing it. So that's why I'm modeling this for you and inviting you to do it. So these are the 3 tips that will help you when you're being an instructor, a facilitator, and a trainer in online events. So the last thing I want to invite you to do is to write one more thing. After watching this video, what is one thing you want to try, or one thing that you're curious about, or one change you're going to make the next time that you're facilitating or teaching online? What do you want to do differently? Write the answer to that in the comment section below. You may even want to write it on a piece of paper or a sticky note for yourself so you'll remember what you want to do differently from watching this video. You're more likely to remember it if you write it. If you write it twice, once on a piece of paper for yourself and once in the chat below. I look forward to reading your comments. I'm Kelly Pfeiffer with Go Interactive Training. I'll see you in the next video.